Good morning, welcome to 59 Minutes. My name is Levi Kones. It's Monday, and Monday we talk politics. And to join me in political discussions this Monday is a gentleman who has not been here before. Is making his debut for the very first time. He ran for elections in 2017, trying to be the MCA for the South Sea Ward. Unsuccessfully, he's back at it, trying and doing many other things in the Greater Langata constituency. He's the chairman of roads there, as well as engaged in the CDF projects. His name is Doni Langat, also known as Blackie.
Thank you, Levi.
Wanakuita nini kwa streets?
Mimi naitwa Blackie.
Blackie.
Jina ya mtaa. Yeah.
Jina ya mtaa. How did you get that name?
When I was starting out, there's one boy just said, "Hey man, we're the black."
Na ikakwama.
Ikakwama. So, and in fact, in 2022, my name will actually be Blackie in the ballot.
Blackie in the ballot. Yeah. Excellent. Now, before we even go about the ballot and all that,
thank
you. We also what happened just on Friday. BBI, miguu zilikwama completely.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the process and even how we ended up there? And just generally looking back, was it worth it?
I think the first thing we need to really regret is actually wasting almost 4 years on one thing that was not even legitimate. BBI, in my opinion, was an agreement between two political figures in the country. One who wanted to control the politics of the day and achieve a legacy, and one who wanted to edge out a competitor in 2022 and probably make his way into government. So the BBI intrigues are quite unfortunate. The judgment, as it were, from the Court of Appeal is a message to the political class that you cannot wake up one day and just mutilate the Constitution of Kenya. And unfortunately, the approach that was used at the BBI was bullish and sort of an intimidating in it, and that did not involve the Mwananchi. From the reactions of, I think the best way to answer that one, from the reactions of from Friday, you see what happened maybe on Saturday. The DP had a press conference and he said that it was a win-win, a win for the Constitution, a win for the people. Musala Mudavadi Yeso was in charge. He's now wailing more than the bereaved and saying, I told you that this thing was, people did not talk to each other. He wants to take the other side. You saw Waiguru and the majority leader in Laikipia, and I think the governor of Laikipia say, we did not endorse Raila Odinga. So there's bound to be some realignments because what was bringing these people together was BBI. And in their mind, they did not believe that the president can actually fail in that task.
A lot of people didn't believe that because, there's a perception here that even the judiciary can be, compromised. What does that say about the judiciary, this particular ruling? Kenyans, we really don't believe. We're like...
The Constitution 2010 is very clear that the judiciary is an independent body. But because we've been in Kenya too long and maybe seen what has happened maybe in the 80s, people don't believe that a judge can actually render a judgment that is against the government. So people are still caught up in the yesteryears whereby the president could control everything. So what you saw in, I think I want to refer to the Mombasa meeting, was people who are coming together waiting for the BBI judgment to say, if you don't unite, William Ruto will beat you in 2022. So they were already coalescing around that to share positions of the prime minister, deputy prime ministers, with an ethnic mathematics kind of thing. So the judiciary has sent a very clear message that they are fiercely independent and they will protect the Constitution of Kenya.
Yeah. You think we are at the point where we can respect them? Just recently, 2017, judiciary ruled against the Jubilee government in the nullification, and then there were threats. And then, there was
the revisit story.
Yes, then there were only Katazwa Pesa, and Maraga was always complaining, we don't have enough money.
Yes.
For them to come and do something that is against another ruling that is anti-establishment, twice actually, because it's now the High Court and then now the Court of Appeal reinstating the same. Are we at that point where we can actually say that the judiciary has stamped its authority enough for us going forward to completely respect everything they say?
Yes, we need to respect the judiciary because you are not always you don't always wield the state power. There comes a time when you are on the other side and you will need some recourse and a last point of resort. So, in my opinion, I think it is progressive and Kenyans now have more faith and more faith in the judiciary and the judicial officers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I think one of the things also we can also observe is this issue of a referendum, an election. It's been a habit, sort of.
Yeah.
What can you say about that particular thing? Because in 2005 we saw that story. We've seen that story again following.
It is. I remember the president saying that when we started this BBI story, that we are at a constitutional moment. I personally did not believe that it was we were there yet because our constitution was only 10 years old, or around 8 years old by 2018. I don't think that it is fair to change the constitution after every 10 years or so, especially so that you can do some mathematics with the whole change the referendum.
They say Blackie, unatembea na kiatu ukiadjust. That's what they when they're proposing, they're like, unajua ikifinya hapa unapeleka kwa fundi.
There are some things which would have gone through parliament. Yes, small reforms here and there. We did not need to spend so much money. We've wasted such colossal amounts of resources just doing monkey business here and there, rallies and threats and putting people in jail, But in my opinion, the real BBI, there were good things in BBI, but there were also baits, like the constituencies. Those were baits, just to get a particular people to rally behind the constitution change. But one thing you have to know that, Levi, there's one order, like which I think there was no dissenting voice from the judges, and that was that the president cannot initiate or be the promoter of a constitutional change through the popular initiative. That one was unanimous. So they actually say that the president actually broke the law, and he cannot initiate a constitutional change through popular initiative, and that elected leaders have their path through parliament to change the constitution, and that one is
definitely eye-opening stuff. Huh?
Yes.
Finally, just on the BBI, many have said that the and proponents, even after 2010 constitution, there are those who said the constitution is not conclusive. We will change a few things, later. We saw Ikuru Aukot, he came up with Punguza Mzigo. We saw Moses Kuria come up. There are some things people are dissatisfied with in the current constitution. Do you foresee that this clamor for constitution continuing post 2022 for shaping up things, or have we seen the end of it?
We may not have seen the end of it. I have seen in the newspapers today some MPs want to at least sneak in some amendments through parliament. But I know that is very, very difficult to achieve because you need 2/3. I know some want to, I have seen reports also that the Attorney General wants to proceed to the Supreme Court. I think we have not seen the end of it. And maybe this is a discussion after 2022, because now the elections are here with us next year. I think people, the political class will now start concentrating on their re-election and the elections in 2022 rather than the clamor for constitutional change. I think it's a bit too late in the day to actually go that direction.
We may have to wait for
we may have to
a new dispensation of political leaders and leadership.
Of course.
Speaking of which, The DP you said spoke on Saturday. I listened to his speech.
Yes.
One of the things he said was, let's come back to the Big Four agenda.
Yes.
Do we have time? It's 11 months.
What has happened is that, we have, our minds are clouded with the BBI.
Yeah, has this ship completely lost its way? Do we have time to say now?
I don't think we will achieve much now because we have not seen any housing projects come up, for example. Universal healthcare, the UHC, nothing has been done about it. They did some pilots in Machakos where, but nothing good has come out of it. The manufacturing, not yet. And the food security issues, I don't think we have seen an investment by government.
So what do you think is going to happen? I mean, 11 months BBI
in my view, it's a bit too late in the day to deliver some things. I know the Jubilee government has done some things, but more so in the line of maybe capital projects, the expressway, which is a very expensive project, which will cost us. It's a private road. Nothing really for the common mananchi. Nobody will use it. You'll have to pay the toll. They'll have a toll. So in my view, that our president may have two options because he may be interested in whom he wants to be the successor, but he may just have two options left. I think number one is to just let it go, stop the obsession of who will take over from him. Number two was maybe to find his way back to the fold and do what he told us that he will do post 2017. Yeah.
So let's talk about 2022.
Yeah.
Because we must, and people are already campaigning. Even you are on the ground.
Definitely.
What wanaongea tayari, underlining themselves and all that. Let's start with the national face. There's a lot of alignments going on. You have the OKA guys.
Yes.
And they are meeting the president as it is alleged. I don't know. It seems it to be true. I mean, your HNIB bureau can tell us. Can tell us more. And they seem to want to come up with they have their problems as to who will, be their flag bearer. You've got UDA. You already have a flag bearer, even though I'm sure you will say that you will conduct
free and fair
presidential nominations. Yes. But it's kind of obvious. Who's going to go, going to have that. Do you feel like we are setting the stage? Some people say that there are 4 horses. Some say there's the one for Kinamukisa. And
really?
And what's his name? And the governor for Makueni, Kivuta Kibwana, yeah? There's that alliance. Then others say, there's now the OKA alliance. Then there's probably Raila Odinga and ODM and whoever else he may join him, because we don't know whether they are with OKA yet. Then there's you guys. And then there seems to be another one coming from the Gema side of the eastern side for Justin Muturi, Do you feel like farasi ni wengi?
No. Knowing the political mathematics in Kenya, there were reports last week we saw in the newspaper that it is alleged that the president said that Musipoungana, William Ruto has 49%. There's a deal like that.
There's something. I don't know.
Something similar.
It's
and I think they were banking on the BBI to actually have that mathematics in place. And you can see that yesterday's statement in church when Musalia was there, he said he's going it alone. This week, there are reports in the newspapers that Raila Odinga is calling all his MPs for a caucus to discuss how they will chart their way back to Canaan, the place with the many crocodiles. And I'm not very sure about the Kivuta Kibwana Axis, Mukisa Kitui. But at the moment, I know that William Ruto will definitely run. Raila Odinga will definitely run. He has, I know Kalonzo will run, and probably Musalia Mudavadi. So those are the front runners. And of course, the two main will be William Ruto versus Raila Odinga.
Yeah, there's a suggestion by some that that BBI was about building bridges, bringing people together, uniting the country after elections, which has always had dramatic election skirmishes here and there, and there are those who suggest that, because the BBI has not passed, that the presidency should consider pushing some time to create this national unit.
Extension of postponing the elections. I don't know.
Extending the presidential term a bit. Ndio watengeneze mambo kidogo alafu sasa.
They are hoping to do that, and the bait here is that the MPs will not mind an extra 1 year. But I will tell you, Levi, that will not happen. Not in Kenya. I doubt that will happen. That one will not happen. The constitution is very clear. We are going to the polls on the 9th of August, 2022. Period. Those other things, create a crisis, what, there was corona, those are just stories. It will not happen.
Yet right now, there's with the issues of no public gatherings really in place, although that's being flouted, as you can see. We saw Raila the other day with quite a huge crowd, and other people, of course, have made stopovers, and crowd inakuja. People say, okay, we can't control the crowds and things like that. There are those who say that even with the measures are also have a political connotation. Would you agree?
Let me put it this way. The government, through the Ministry of Health, should actually speed up the mass vaccination of its citizens, so that we can open up the churches, the political space, and the business space. That should be a priority now. And of course, we cannot rule out one or two people sitting in a boardroom somewhere and saying, we need to slow down Mr. X, so that he doesn't do this. There's always that factor, definitely. I know that they may do it under the guise of the containment measures, but let's open the political. Let everybody go everywhere and ask for votes. Democratic. That is the democracy of this country. We cannot curtail people's movements. That is why I'm urging, and I will still urge the Ministry of Education to roll out mass vaccination. In the next 6 months, we should be done with that mass vaccination so that we go into the campaign mood.
Yeah. Kamau Gatrichi asks you a question. He says, what's your game plan if Mount Kenya bolts out of the perceived UDA bag? He's saying Moses Kuria already has confirmed he must use that vehicle in Mount Kenya, and besides, there'll be near bloodshed for nominations under UDA in your strongholds.
Yes. This is not the first time we're having a William Ruto with a party and in the stronghold. We had URP.
Yeah.
We had Jubilee. There's always a fallout, But I think what people need to understand is that there's always a winner and a loser. And we need to inculcate in us the culture of accepting election results. If Blackie beats you in South Sea, you should be able to gracefully accept and support me, because there can only be one winner. That is why we are rooting for, and our party leader has assured us that we shall have free, fair, verifiable party primaries.
Yeah. So, speaking of free, fair, let me just jump in there. One of the problems that we have in this country is just that issue, free, fair. When people are saying that, they don't want to give in to, they don't want to concede. Most of the time it's because they can't see the process clearly. To say, if you're watching a football match and you score me 5 goals, we have seen the 5 goals and how they have entered. Sometimes in our elections, we tend not to see clearly what has really happened behind the scenes. I mean, we're the same country that could not open servers.
I'm not sure about the servers.
Not to show. Going into 2022.
The voting process in Kenya is very simple.
Are you confident? Because,
yes.
Are you confident in that regard of the free and fairness? Because, when we talk about the free and fairness, it's not just about saying it's free and fair.
Yes.
It's about the process being seen
to be free and fair.
Yes.
I know that there are myths about people who steal votes and all that, but
look at the petitions last time. How many were they for just MCA, MP?
Most of the petitions were because of the success of the Raila Odinga and versus Uhuru and the IBC, the success of that. That's why many people filed petitions.
Were you ready? Were you satisfied that you lost?
The threshold of a presidential election is actually high. That's why the Elections Act was amended to include electronic transmission of that, which doesn't apply for these other positions. The process of elections in Kenya is very simple. What you need to have is something called a very credible agent. That is what messes up people. Very credible agent. Number two, you need to have a list of the people who will oversee the elections. Those are the presiding officers. So that if you see somebody who is partisan, you're supposed to raise that issue before that. Many candidates are not aware of that. I was not aware of such things in 2017 myself. But after losing, I have now enlightened myself and known that where you go wrong.
This process, kuna details.
Yes, but if you have a credible agent, somebody who cannot be compromised, and you know that you have a very election officials who are not compromised, then the election result will actually be a reflection of what is in the ballot. Yes. And the fact that the polling ends at the results are announced at the polling station. If it is a Kongoni Primary School, for example, South Sea, stream 1 to 8, stream 1 will announce their results and paste it in the wall. It's that simple. Make sure that your agent actually has a signed copy of the results.
Of the results.
Yes.
Following each and every one of them. Do you in terms of even just that whole thing of the results process,
yes,
do you feel confident in current IEBC as it is? Because there are those people who are also saying the next clamor now is for a change.
We are so tired of being taken round in circles.
It's for a change in the IEBC.
We cannot be changing the referee every time we feel that because the other team scored, you say no. For example, I think they are basing their arguments in when they wanted to interfere with the elections in Juja, for example. The elections officials stood firm and did things by the law. When they wanted to interfere with the election results in Kiamba, the elections officials. So you want people that you can compromise, which is not where are we headed to as a country. Let Chebukati plan the elections. We are 1 year there. I think Parliament is supposed to approve the other 4 nominees so that we have a quorum. That was an issue with the BBI. The BBI.
That was an issue, yes. Like they're not
because the president delayed in the Nini and there was no quorum to actually Nini. There was no legal framework for even the referendum and all those things. So the IEBC, as currently constituted and with the 4 other commissioners, should be allowed to actually plan for this election. I don't think Kenyans will allow being taken around in circles, and we are done with that politics of going to the street. We don't want disruptions. Let the IEBC prepare, let the candidates prepare for the elections, and let's meet in the ballot, all of us.
Yep. We're going to take a break. When we come back, I want to talk about Langata.
Thank you.
And what's happening there.
Right. Good.
We're speaking to Donny Lucky Langat. He is aspirant for South Sea ward right here in Nairobi, discussing matters to do with politics, and we're going to talk about some local politics of Nairobi when we come back. Don't go away. Be right back after these messages.